Hello all. Today in this video lecture we will see composition of forces chapter. Our last lecture was resolution of forces and now in this video lecture we will see composition of forces chapter. So in this lecture we will see triangle law of forces and what is composition of forces. So for that let us consider point O, and at this point O two forces are acting and those two forces are coplanar and concurrent. Coplanar, that means they are in one plane in the sense, consider this as x, this as y, and this as z. So this xz is one plane, xy is one plane, and yz is one plane. So these forces are only in one plane. So this is coplanar, and concurrent, that means they will pass through only one point. So here one force is like this, consider this force as P force, and other force is like this, consider this force as Q force, and between P and Q force angle is theta. So this P force has magnitude also and direction also. It is force, that means obviously it has magnitude and direction. Q force has also magnitude and direction. So in triangle law of forces, what we will do, see here, this is point O. At point O horizontally P force is acting. So we just move this Q force to head of this P force. See, this is head of this P force. So move this Q force to head of this P force like that. See, so let us assume here this point as A and this point as B. So see, this P force OA and this Q force AB. Here it is head of P force. So at head of P force, Q force tail is acting. So that means these are in, see here, acting simultaneously at a point. These are taken in order. So taken in order, that means like that. See, this P force, this is tail of this P force and this is head of this P force. And this is Q force. Q force tail is acting at head of that point P, like that. So those are in order. See this, like that, in order. But what will happen here? This resultant of those P and Q is not in order. See this. Here only head matches at point B. Will happen here. This QC horizontally, Q force is making an angle theta. So here it is theta. And consider this as beta and this angle as alpha. So here, like, by observing this beta is equal to 180 degree minus theta, and this theta is equal to 180 degree minus alpha. So this is triangle law of forces. We will see derivation of this triangle law of forces also, but before that just see definition. If two coplanar concurrent forces are acting simultaneously at a point. So see here at point O, these are coplanar forces P and Q because they are in one plane. So those are coplanar, and concurrent, that means they are passing through one point and that point is O point. So if the two coplanar concurrent forces are acting simultaneously at a point which are represented in magnitude and direction by the two sides of the triangle taken in order. So see this OAB now we consider as a triangle, and these P and Q forces are considered as a two sides of a triangle and they are taken in order. See this OA and this AB, they are in order because see Q tail is at head of point, like head of force P. So this is taken in order. Then the resultant of these two forces is represented in magnitude and direction by the third side of the triangle in opposite order. So here this is third side of the triangle and it is resultant, and it is not in order, it is in opposite order. Why it is in opposite order? Because see at point B both head are matching, and at point O see at point tail matching. Just see this force is like this force is like this, that means taken in order. This force is like this force is like this, that means taken in order. But see one force is like this and one force is like this, one force is like this. This force is not taken in order. That's why that word is there. Now before derivation, just see what is composition of forces also. The process of combining or adding all forces to get a single force which is equivalent to all forces is called as composition of forces. So here combining or adding all forces to get a single force. So this P bar plus Q bar we combine to get a single force which is resultant force. And those resultant is equivalent to that all forces. So this is composition of forces. The single force obtained is called resultant force. So here this R single force is resultant force. This is resultant. Simply it is the reduction of a given system of forces to the simplest system that is equivalent to the given system. So we reduce this P and Q force to a single force, and this single force is resultant force. In other words, the process of determining the resultant of a number of forces is called the composition of forces. So that is composition, that means like in other word you can call it as resultant also. We find resultant, we compose those two forces and make single force. So we will see now derivation of this triangle law of forces. So now for derivation we will apply cosine rule. So what is cosine rule here? Observe this triangle OAB. Cosine rule is nothing but the OB square. See cursor of my pen here. This is O, this is B. So OB square is equal to OA square. This OA square and is equal to OA square plus this AB square. OA square plus AB square minus 2 into OA into AB. Again into angle between that OA and AB, it is beta and cos beta. Cos beta. So this is cosine rule. So here see OB is nothing but the R. So right here R square is equal to OA. Now OA nothing but the P square plus AB square. So AB is nothing but the Q force. So this R is resultant, P is force, Q is force, minus 2 into, again OA is P, AB is Q, multiply by cos beta. So mathematically R is equal to under root of P square plus Q square minus 2PQ cos of beta. So this is resultant formula for that triangle law of forces. And see, this triangle law of forces is only applicable to two forces, and those two forces are concurrent coplanar forces. So see here, this P and Q are only two forces, those are coplanar and concurrent forces. Concurrent, that means they are passing through point O, and coplanar, that means they are in one plane. Now I am interested in this alpha also. So how to calculate this alpha? So for that, just apply sine rule. So just observe here in triangle, we have alpha and beta. So this AB upon sine alpha, just consider this side of one triangle AB, and opposite of that side angle is alpha. So AB upon sine alpha. AB is one side of that triangle, and opposite to that side angle is alpha. That's why in denominator sine alpha is equal to this beta angle is also there. So OB is one side of triangle and opposite angle is beta. So OB upon sine beta. So just write mathematically. I am interested in alpha. So sine alpha is equal to AB upon OB into sine beta. This is mathematically sine alpha. So sine alpha, AB is here. AB is Q force and OB is resultant R force, and multiply by sine beta. So alpha is equal to sine inverse of Q upon R into sine of beta. So we calculated alpha also here, and we calculated resultant also, triangle law of forces. So observe here, R is equal to under root of P square plus Q square minus 2PQ cos of beta. R is equal to under root of P square plus Q square minus 2PQ cos of beta. And here alpha is equal to sine inverse of Q upon R into sine beta. Alpha is equal to sine inverse of Q upon R into sine of beta. And composition of forces, that means combining or adding all forces to get a single force which is equivalent to all forces, is called composition of forces. So we apply cosine rule also and sine rule also to calculate those. So for calculation, for resultant we apply cosine rule, and for angle we apply sine rule. And general geometry we applied. This is triangle law of forces. Thank you very much.